Irish people are all over the world, but one of the largest populations of Irish-born people outside of Ireland is in Australia. A country on the other side of the world, almost as far as you can get from Ireland, but yet over 100,000 Irish people are currently living there.
When you come here, you lose a lot of yourself.
We have been migrating here for centuries, but in the last 20 years, the number of Irish there has doubled.
We're actually talking about setting up an Irish school.
The cost of living, a housing crisis, and many other reasons are why so many people have left Ireland.
I was just fucking sick of Ireland, like.
And myself being in that demographic of young people who are affected, I want to find out what it could be like for me.
It's not for everyone. I mean, it will test you.
But is this still the place for young Irish people to move for a better life? Or have things changed?
We come for different reasons now than we came before.
Last Christmas I spent my morning in a pool.
You're probably not even ready for it until you're actually in it.
Like the lifestyle's so good over here, it's hard to know when to go home.
Like some people choose not to go home for a few years, but that wasn't the case, like, you know, we couldn't go home.
That's why I flew to the other side of the planet to find out what it's really like in the land down under. Okay, we made it to St Kilda. This is the most Irish place in Melbourne. I talked to the receptionist on the first day. She said it was really Irish, that I won't find any Australians. And to be fair, I haven't talked to any Australians since I've been here, so it doesn't really matter anyway. Yeah, it's near the beach, which is interesting. It kind of reminds me of like Wexford, but obviously there's like palm trees and different things. But this is just stop one. In a couple of days, we're also going to Sydney, to Coogee Beach. And that is also the most Irish place in Australia. They're both kind of similar. I also have a mullet. I've been here 3 days. The Australia effect, is it? What? This is a lovely area though. I expected like more of like a low-key place, but this is like one of the nicest areas around here, isn't it? Fella driving topless. What? Australia, is it? To understand the history of Irish in Australia, we have to go back over 200 years. Irish people have been arriving since the first fleet of European ships landed, with many arriving as convicts and some seeking new opportunities. Between 1788 and 1868, roughly 40,000 of the 160,000 convicts transported by Britain to Australia were Irish. This was so substantial that today over 2.5 million people claim Irish ancestry, which is nearly 10% of the population of Australia. But today, immigration is a lot different, with most people moving for better opportunities, better weather, and in hopes of a better life. And one of them people is actually my friend Mikey, who moved here almost 2 years ago. He was the first person I met up with in my time in Australia, and he actually offered to let me stay in his apartment. And funny enough, he was heading to GA training that night to have some pizza and beers, so I went along with him. Okay, so I'm currently in Faulkner Park. Walked in with Mikey. There was like 10 people playing hurling with him. Then there was across the pitch, there was lads playing Gaelic football. Just even walking in, I think I seen 50 Irish people maybe. I also just got my haircut. Walk in, I was like, this fella has to be Irish. Sat down, he's like, what can I do for you? And I was like, where are you from? He's like, Wicklow. Like the one time I get a haircut in my whole 2 weeks here, he's gonna be Irish. Like, while we were on our night out after Mikey's training, he told me about a huge GA tournament happening in 10 days time, which was actually the day before I went home. Mikey and his girlfriend Chloe were both going to be competing, so I made sure to keep it in mind. Now that we're caught up on why I have a mullet already, my first night out in Australia, and hurling on the other side of the world, it's time to head back to St Kilda, the most Irish town in Melbourne. We may or may not be a little bit hungover today.
Small bit fragile.
So I've already been to 2 Irish pubs, and I've only been here 3 days. I've already met maybe 10 Irish people, and that's like not even trying to meet them. We're gonna try find some food, maybe some Irish food. You said there's like spice bags and stuff?
Yeah, there's a place called the Humble Spud if you want to try that.
Yeah, we can go there. There's probably a food TikToker in here doing a review, is there? Oh, there's the spice bag. Which is mad, because nearly everywhere in the world now has them.
That's what you're in for if you visit the Humble Spud in St Kilda. And out of town. To be fair, I can actually taste how humble the spuds are.
For me and Mikey to be able to have this food together, I had to travel 26 hours on a plane. And for every other Irish person living here, they had to do the same journey. That's one of the biggest things I noticed so far in my time in Australia, was just how far away from home I was. A full day away from my family and friends. I've been to Canada and New York, which feel far, but when you look out to the ocean here, it hits you that even if you wanted to go home today, it's not possible. And for every Irish person living here, I wonder how often does the beach remind them of that. So after me and Mikey had our food and explored St Kilda, I wanted to talk to him about what life is like in Australia. This is something that happens too, where like people know each other and then one moves to Australia. And like you moved to Galway already, so it was already like long distance, and now it's even longer.
For me, I didn't know if I was going to move over or not, but it kind of felt nearly like a rite of passage because all of my sisters had been to Australia before. And it's good as well to have those people that have been there and done it and get that experience, so you kind of know what you're walking into as well.
And how do your family feel about you living here?
Luckily, yeah, my family are very supportive of it. And then, you know, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, so they've already kind of been through that, and they've had 3 other daughters that have moved over here and lived here, so they're used to it, and they're veterans of the game, let's say. You know, when my sisters moved over here, and we'd have to like schedule a Skype call, but now obviously we just have the phones in the pocket and you can ring them whenever you want, which is always good, you know.
It's like the time where everybody at home is starting to like wake up for work and everything, which is so random because like I feel like I've already had my whole day. The time difference is really crazy, and it's one of the things that I've had to like really try to adjust to. Yeah, I'm gonna call my mom. I've been doing this like every day because I do feel like a little bit far from home. Hello?
No.
Did I wake you up?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'll leave you to it then.
Oh, let's talk to you for a minute.
No. Some people obviously come here to by themselves. Some people come with friends. Do you think that helped a lot coming with Chloe?
100%. Well, I probably wouldn't have come over here if it wasn't for Chloe convincing me to come over here. But if I did come over, it definitely wouldn't have been by myself, because there's been a lot of times over here where it's been, you know, strong character building moments. There was a time I was locked out in my car 2 hours outside of the city, and it's not like you can just ring your dad to come pick you up, that you really are, you know, by yourself. But then again, don't want to be too soppy, but it makes that relationship stronger because you have to go through that together.
So obviously last night you were at hurling training, and you were saying to me today, like, that's obviously a great way for you to kind of connect.
It's nice to be around people that have gone through what you're going through and get some advice from them, because it's not too hard to like come over here and feel lost and think like, oh, am I doing things right, or should I be doing this? But once you kind of reconnect with people who are going through the same experiences as you, then kind of puts your mind at ease. No better people than the Irish to do that, you know?
Even though I haven't seen Mikey for a couple of years, I feel like we're already back to like how I remember. And also he's been a legend, like giving me somewhere to stay, giving me recommendations, going to places with me. And also like his girlfriend Chloe as well. She's the one who made the bed, so happy that I have somewhere to stay. Another thing about Australia is like to stay, you have to do your regional work.
So I'm currently working on a YouTube video kind of similar to this, where I'm going to speak about my regional work, because I found it so difficult to actually find it in the first place. And it's one of those things that is part of your visa when you come over here, that they're like, you just figure that out by yourself. Like, we're not going to give you any help in that regard. Yeah, my regional work, I had to milk cows for 3 months non-stop, Monday to Sunday, 5 a.m., 4 p.m. Moving over here, definitely, it's not for everyone. I mean, it will test you, 100%, it will test you. But it brings it back to that thing where I would never have had that experience if I didn't move over here as well. But yeah, the regional work is something that it's a bit of a stipulation that kind of stops some people from coming over here. My brother's friend applied for a British passport so that he didn't have to do that, and he can just stay here for 3 years, which I would never do. I'd rather milk cows for 3 months than get a British passport.
After talking to Mikey in St Kilda, I got to learn about his feelings towards Australia and what it's like for him and his girlfriend Chloe. And to my surprise, they let me stay way longer than I first thought, so I got to see what daily life was like. Going to the gym, going food shopping, going to work, and just general Australian life. It was great to have people to talk to and somewhere to stay, but the day finally came where I checked into my Airbnb and I was back by myself solo traveling. Morning from Australia. A couple months ago, I traveled to Canada by myself, had this crazy trip. You know, the first like people that I met straight away, I was like, oh my God, like, you know, this solo traveling thing is so easy. Not the exact same here. I feel like here it's such a big city, and there's already so many Irish people here that like nobody cares that you're Irish, which is obviously a thing that like I'm used to anyway. But just after Canada, you know, I had a feeling in my head of like solo travel and what it would be, and it's definitely not the same. So on this trip, I'm definitely gonna have to push myself a little bit more. This is also another thing. Everyone else that was going on my plane, I think, was moving here. There was 2 girls that were crying outside the gate. They were like talking to their parents, probably on the phone, or family. And it just made me feel like really like, oh my God, like this is such a big deal. For a lot of these people, they're moving and they won't see their family for potentially like a year or 2. That's why I think places like St Kilda and Coogee Beach exist. Because I think when Irish people get here, or anybody, they try find their local people who remind them of home. And it's like a cliche, like, oh, you go to a different country and you go straight to the Irish pub. But it's not about like that you don't want to talk to the local people. It's like just an easier way to kind of like bridge that gap. But for right now, I feel very, well, not very lonely, but I do definitely feel lonely and a little bit afraid, but I think that's normal. For the next few days, I decided to explore more of Melbourne to take my mind off being 17,000 kilometers away from home. The first thing on my list was to try the coffee, because apparently Melbourne has some of the best coffee in the world. Taste test. That is pretty good. $6.50 for them two things. Off the bat, I'm giving that like a 7.5 out of 10. The next thing on my list was to go to a park. The city was a bit overwhelming the first few days, so I went to a few parks and it helped a lot, so I decided to do it again. Where's Anton Deck? I feel like I'm about to do a bush tucker trial. About to go get 10 stars for the camp. Oh look, you little duckies, is it? Oh man, this park is lovely. I feel way better now. A huge thing in Australia is being healthy and working out, so the next thing was to join the trend and go to the gym. But this wasn't like the gyms I usually go to. Alright lads, I think this might be the maddest gym I've ever been in my life. Ready, yeah? This is like, I'm in the gym, right? No, I'm not in the gym. Fella, like, what? This is insane. After exploring Melbourne solo and trying to embrace the Australian lifestyle, it definitely made me feel a lot better. And I felt like I was starting to settle into the city a small bit. And funny enough, while I was in the gym, Mikey asked me did I want to play golf with him and his friend Owen. Owen moved to Australia 3 months ago, so I decided to join them and talk to Owen about what it's like for someone who just recently moved over.
Do you see the tallest one there, just to the right of the tree, with the gold thing? That's where I live. Tallest building in Melbourne. I think our rent is like €800-ish each a month. But in Ireland I was paying about $550 a month. In that place you have like 2 gyms, 2 saunas, steam room, golf room. The view of the city, like, it's outrageous. You just can't get that in Ireland, unfortunately. But it's mad, like, you don't come here to make money. It's like we come for different reasons now than we came before, maybe. I'm a PT, so I was in like Kilkenny, so it was like almost like a town kind of vibe, whereas here it's not as personable, I don't think.
And how do you know Mikey?
He's my best friend's brother, and then by virtue my friend then, so.
And is that a good thing to have, someone like that?
Yeah, that's actually been unreal, in fairness. That's been so good. Like for me, I move with my missus, so you miss the guy talk. Like I was always saying to my friends, I miss when a fart was funny, like, and not rotten. To have someone there and just be able to bounce questions off him and trying to figure things out was really, really good. And yeah, just like that, to have another male friend is unbelievable. Because it's weird making friends with Aussies, I find.
How's your girlfriend finding it as well? Does she have people?
She's on Bumble BFF. I never knew this was a thing. It's literally like dating, but to make friends. Yeah, she met up with a girl there and got on very well with her, but like that, she wouldn't have someone like my equivalent to Mikey, in fairness. And I do think she misses that.
You'd say you're more moving here for like a stint rather than like lifetime?
Yeah, I don't see myself living here forever, but doing 2 or 3 years, yeah, 100%. Ireland is just too good. Like, for all its drawbacks, it's still the best place to live in the world, I think so.
What did your family think when you told them?
My poor mother was devastated, in fairness. Everyone I said it to was like, I wish I'd done it, or when I did it, it was the best thing I ever did. So had nothing but positive kind of reinforcement from everyone about it. But like that, people are sad to see you go, but I think again, like that, knowing I'll be back, it makes it a lot easier. So yeah, the goodbyes weren't the most fun thing ever, but you guys still got to do what you got to do, you know?
Is there anything you would change about your first time here?
Probably come with a little more money, maybe. That'd be the only thing. But you couldn't come with enough, like, you know, no matter what you brought, you'd use it. Even then, that probably wouldn't change that. Like, I feel like it's good lessons learned and stuff. What's it like for you just coming for 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's already like a bit of a culture shock. I think I met up with Mikey and then the next day I was like, okay, I'm actually here. Like,
I still look around and I'm like, oh my God, I'm in Australia now. Like, yeah.
It hasn't fully hit me that I'm in Australia, but then sometimes you'll see something that
yeah,
you're like, that's not.
You don't see that in Ireland.
No.
Like, even my girlfriend was saying, like, when she was in work, there was birds going off and it sounded like sirens, and every time it went, she'd be up. Yeah. But then to everyone else, they're just like,
so used to it.
Yeah, staring at the computers, and it's like us hearing crows. Or wonder how long it'd take to not be able to notice the birds anymore.
After talking to Owen about his experience so far in Australia, I was learning more about what the first few months would be like for me if I was to move. Playing golf at sunset, looking out to the city below, was definitely a new experience, and I think that's a common thing when people move here. It was a great feeling knowing how far away from home I was, but somehow, within my first week, I was already playing golf with someone I didn't know before I came over. It was also a great feeling knowing that there was people here I did know as well. And funny enough, when me and Mikey went out after his hurling training the other night, I bumped into a fella I know called Ross. Ross has been living here for a year and is working as a barber, and because I was heading to Sydney soon, I decided to get my hair cut and talk to him about his time so far.
Coming out by myself is not something I ever thought I'd do. Just because back home I'd be very even met with the boys. I'd always like to have someone with me. Not experience it by yourself, but experience it with others, like especially with your best mates around you. It's such a vital part of life, I think, but I was fortunate to have a good few mates over here already. And the hardest part was just getting on the plane by myself, but I was like, look, life's for living, what's going to go wrong? Absolutely nothing. You'll notice, especially over here, everyone honestly looks out for each other, man. Everyone's in the same boat, you're full way across the world. But the minute I came over, I was in a hotel for like 7 days. A mate of mine I ended up living with, and he texted me, he was like, what's up? Like, we've all done it. If you need a place to stay, let me know, you'll be straight on the couch. I was staying with them, and then Ben actually moved out, so I got his room. I was there from December to August. And then yeah, myself and her got our first apartment there in October, so sweet sailing so far. Even put a Christmas tree up the other day. Another life experience I cannot say I've gained from coming to Australia.
So you're obviously talking about like the Christmas tree and stuff. Like, how do you find Christmas over here? Like,
before I came over, I came at Christmas time because I wanted to experience an Australian Christmas. Like a summer Christmas, who wouldn't want to experience that once in their life? And it was very cool. Like the minute I landed in the lead up to Christmas, I was out doing things every week in the sun. The only thing is, Christmas is a big time to be with the family. I did get a bit of FOMO. There's not a lot of decorations everywhere. Christmas is a cold holiday, so it doesn't really feel like Christmas is the only thing I will say. Last Christmas, I spent my morning in a pool, which was actually, to be fair, it was absolutely sick. So the reason people come over and they do want to stay is the value for life you get over here in terms of the weather, to do things after work, and like your weekends. I've never had a day in Australia and I woke up and said I'm really bored here. We did have a little conversation, being honest, said listen, in a few years you wouldn't mind settling back home. But the biggest thing obviously is when you get to a certain age, most people in life will have like kids, family, stuff like that. I'm a long way away from that, but you'll obviously like my ma's back home, stuff like that. Like it's that support system you do really need.
has the amount of Irish people here really helped you kind of settle in?
Absolutely, it's definitely helped. Like we have a little routine here in this shop every Saturday. There's a restaurant up the road called Angus and Bawn, owned by Irish. We finish here at 5, we'll go up, have 2-3 Guinness after work. Yeah. Just having that little $10 pint after work, and that's obviously considered cheap here, it goes so far, man, honest to God, you know. Yeah. There's nothing I haven't disliked about Australia, apart from the price of a pint.
Going home with that Australia effect.
Yeah, you need the moustache now and you're laughing, bro.
Thanks very much.
Anytime, Keno.
Really appreciate that.
Anytime, bro.
That as well. Okay, it's my last full day in Melbourne before I go to Sydney. I have been here for 6 days, I think. It is mad though, like that there is just loads of Irish people on the beach in Australia. And I think it's going to be even crazier in Sydney because Bondi Beach is literally like the most famous beach in the world. Like a 10-minute drive from that is like where all the Irish people are. There's a fella in a GA jersey, as you do. When people talk about Irish in Australia, I was not really picturing this. That's another thing here too, like I just wonder what the general feeling is right now because like look, it's 27 degrees in November. There's like barely any Christmas stuff around. You're not going to be drinking hot chocolate in this weather, that's all I'll say. So. For my last day before going to Sydney, I explored the city solo. I went to the Immigration Museum, got a coffee, and went to a library where I learned about Ned Kelly, one of Australia's most famous outlaws, who actually had Irish parents. But for the first time since I got here, the city didn't feel overwhelming or stressful, and I felt like I was actually starting to settle in to Melbourne. But the next part of my trip was going to be a lot different. I was heading to a new city, staying in a hostel, which is something I've never done, and for the first time since I got here, I wouldn't know anyone. But getting on the plane to come to Australia was already a huge step, so everything after that didn't feel as big of a deal. And so far, all the people I've met have been great, so I'd hope that the next part of my trip would be the same. So after exploring Melbourne for the day, I headed to the airport to get my flight to Sydney. To my surprise, the hostel was actually really nice. The first night was a bit awkward, but once I talked to everyone in the room, it was fine. There was people from Germany, Switzerland and America, so it was great to ask everyone about what their time has been like in Australia so far. Because the hostel was a 2-minute walk from Bondi Beach, I spent my first few days exploring one of the most famous beaches in the world. It was one of them places I've seen so much of in videos and pictures, but to actually be there was such a cool experience. Sydney definitely felt different from Melbourne. I wasn't sure if it was just the weather or the fact that I'd been in Australia for over a week now, but I felt very relaxed here. And just like in Melbourne, it didn't take me long to meet up with an Irish person. I decided to reach out to a fella called Andy, who is currently drifting across the world. He's driving back to Ireland from Australia, so I decided to meet him along his journey. He was going to be in Coogee Beach the next day, and funny enough, that's where all the Irish are, so I headed there to meet him. So how long have you been in Australia for?
Me and the car have been here for about 2.5 months. We're on a holiday visa. With the project we leave as well. Me and the car getting shipped over to Asia. Yeah, I thought I'd see family and friends and everything here before I headed off. Haven't been here that long. I was living over here about 4 years ago, working, doing the construction, pulling pints, the whole normal Irish thing when you come over to Australia.
And what was the reason to come in the first place, 4 years ago?
Oh, that's a long story. We need to get a coffee for that one. Anyway, sláinte.
Sláinte, yeah. So yeah, you were saying that you originally came like 4 years ago.
I did okay in Ireland. I did fairly well career-wise, and then I moved over to the UK to start something fresh. And while I was there, I said to myself, look, is there anything that I wanted to achieve before actually settling? And my list was way too long. I basically decided to trek from the UK to Australia with no money. So I lost a mate of mine in 2018 through suicide, and I wanted to show that there's a lot of help in the world if you go look for it. There's a lot to live for, and if you put your mind to it, anything's achievable. So I wanted to show myself and the world that like it is doable, like you can find help in the world. So yeah, literally left the UK, left with no money, and tried to count on the kindness of strangers to get by, so for food, shelter and travel. And I only slept on the street once, and I got down to Australia in 5.5 months.
Wow.
And raised over $15,000 for Beyond Blue and the Samaritans, so bold suicide awareness charities.
Congrats, that's
That's
amazing. Yeah.
I appreciate that, lad. So after completing that, I got to Darwin, and I'm just like, oh, now what? Ended up anyway pulling pints and living the Irish Australian life down here. And I said to myself, okay, well, I achieved that. Like, is there anything else that I want to do? And again, my list was too big. So one of my dreams is always to drift across the world. So driving a drift car, literally across the world. And again, I just wanted to show everyone that like anything is possible. Like no matter where you come from, what the idea is, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone other than you. Like so, even what you're doing, coming down here for 2 weeks. This guy's down here for 2 weeks.
I know everyone's saying that.
So he has to stay longer.
I mean, that is the thing. It's like before you come here, you're like, why do Irish people go there? Like, what is the thing? And then when you're here, you're like, okay, I can kind of understand.
So I feel like it's almost Ireland, but enhanced all the good things about Ireland, and then put like a good son involved there as well.
Well, Irish people in the sun just seem so much happier.
Oh, you should see me in Ireland, lad. I wouldn't talk to you.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Coogee like is just one of those places that for some reason everyone just gathers. But no matter where you go, Irish pubs, Irish people, we're kind of everywhere. And I like to think that we all try to help each other out as well. But again, there's so many Irish here, so it's really hard to have the Australian vibes because there's so many Irish in this area. It's just a shame that Ireland is where it's at the moment because there's no incentive to stay in Ireland for young people, and there's such an incentive to come out to the likes of Canada and Australia and everything because there's huge opportunity. The lifestyle is much better, like the weather is so much nicer, and there's a lot of connections. Like a lot of people, you just come out and like just shake hands and like everyone would just help you. So it's hard for people in Ireland to stay in Ireland, I feel. It's a shame because Ireland is such a fantastic place. Like it is lovely. Yeah, I would see home for me more in Australia than I would in Ireland or England.
After talking to Andy, I got to learn a lot about his experiences in Australia, and he was actually one of the first people I talked to who's seen Australia as a place to stay long term. It was really inspiring to hear his story of how he got to Australia, and it made me think of the people who have helped me so far on my trip as well. Before I said goodbye to Andy, he asked me had I met any other Irish people in Sydney yet, and when I told him no, he told me to wait there, and he went down to the beach.
Sorry guys, where are you from? He's from Ireland?
Yeah.
Happy days, whereabouts? Tipperary. Yeah. So basically, one of the boys is doing a documentary of Irish people in Australia, and I'm literally just wondering, does anyone want to be a part of it?
People? No, I don't.
I heard you asked about Irish, so I thought I'd come over just.
Oh, you sound lad, appreciate it. What's your name, bro?
Owen.
Owen, nice to meet you, lad.
If you get really stuck.
I'm really stuck now. Right, lad, I brought some Irish.
Oh, what's up? How are you?
Okay, nice to meet you. I'm
Nice to meet you.
I can't remember, lad.
Well, who's been here the longest then?
It's say me. Yeah. 2017.
Oh, so you've been here a good while?
Yeah.
And how was that, like, coming by yourself then?
I don't know. I think it just came to me naturally. I was fine. Like after a few weeks here, that was it. Yeah. I think a lot of people like what they see through TikTok and Instagram and stuff too. It's not like their struggles. She's struggling to find a house. Like you don't see that or hear about that. You hear about everything, all the good. Like I think as time comes on, then it does get easier. You build relationships and friendships, and things become easier.
And what about yourself? How long have you?
I came over in June and I went straight to WA to do the regional work, and then we landed in Sydney a month ago.
And how was the regional work? Because my friend in Melbourne, he did 3 months like milking cows and he said it was horrible.
No, I absolutely loved it. It was brilliant. I was working in a bar. There was 5 other Irish working with me in the bar.
That's the great thing about being over here though, and having so many Irish, is that you can literally just go to one person and we'll go, yeah, I'll know someone, or we'll get you pulling points or working.
Yeah, so you could go to pick up furniture and end up leaving away a job, like a number to get a job. You know.
Well, I was only meant to meet you and now here we are. Like, that's how it happens. Like.
I literally said though, I don't know what I would have done had I not had my neighbour from home and her boyfriend out here. Like I was able to stay with them for 3 weeks. There was no pressure to move on. Obviously we didn't want to overstay our welcome, but also like their help with like applying for applications, the use of a car to like go around to other places. Like there is a lot, and even though I knew that coming over here, you're probably not even ready for it until you're actually in it and you're like, wow, okay, this is
stressful.
So I do think it's massive to have the Irish community out here.
I think because everyone's came over and been in the same position, they just wouldn't want to see anyone stuck. Like.
Do you think it will take you a while to settle?
I am a teacher, so I think I'm looking forward to maybe getting into a teaching role. I'm doing a bit of traffic controlling at the moment and a few shifts in a pub, so that's good fun too. Yeah, thank you very much.
Would you be a traffic controller at home?
I get off the bus here and I'm like, oh please don't let anyone from home see me in the high-vis gear. I was like I'm running home so nobody sees me in the work boots. It's nice to do things like that as well out here that like you wouldn't dream of doing.
New life experience.
Even today, like finished work early and straight down to the beach, I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of what we moved for.
Yeah. There's 18 people having Christmas dinner with us, but I'd say by the time Christmas Day comes, we're probably 24.
It's hard to kind of see any of that when you're at home.
The feeling, like the emotion of it all, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, it is difficult starting off, but as long as you just make one friend, you're away.
Yeah, you're sorted. Like.
Yeah, here we are. Here we are.
Weirdly, after talking to Owen, Kira, Kate and Andy, I actually felt very homesick. The generosity, the helpfulness and the crack made me miss home even more, because I was reminded of why I love Ireland so much. And I think that's a common thing here. But I wonder, does living in an Irish area make it easier, or does it remind you of home even more? Either way, I was grateful for Andy helping me find more people to talk to, and for proving to me that Irish people in Australia want to help each other. After having a pint with Andy, I headed back to my hostel, because a few of the people were heading to watch the sunset at Bondi Beach, so I went along with them. This was one of them moments where I really felt like I was in Australia, but the next day, I was heading somewhere that would make me feel it even more. Okay, another time on this trip, I'm starting to really feel that I'm in Australia. When I walked up to here, like you can feel this thing has aura, like same as myself. Yeah, it's one of them places where you realise how far away in the world you are. Just for some context about me too, this time last year I broke up with my long-term girlfriend, so I was feeling like a little bit lost, but I remember I made a video and I said, this time next year I'll be travelling the world, I'll be achieving my dreams, and literally a month ago I quit my job to pursue this full-time. Like my girlfriend is not in Tallaght, you know what I mean? Like the love of my life is not in Tallaght, so I don't know if she's here either, but this is the type of stuff that I'm gonna tell my grandkids. So yeah, this is what life's all about. Now this is the other thing. I'm gonna have to go now ask someone to take my picture, but that's like, it's really not that bad. You know what I mean? Because it was my last night in Sydney, I decided to explore more around the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. It was a weird feeling knowing I was one of the first people in my friends and family to be here, and once again made me realise I was 17,000 kilometres away from home. But at this stage of my trip, I was really starting to enjoy the solo travelling, and small things at the start that were bothering me, I didn't even notice anymore. But as usual on my trip, it didn't take long before I was back with the Irish. The other day when I first met up with Andy, he was talking to a fella called Richie who's lived here for 6 years. He wanted to sit down to talk to me, but unfortunately he didn't have enough time, but promised me he would. And while I was at the Opera House, we planned to meet the next day, so I headed back to Coogee Beach the next morning to hear his story. You were telling me you've been here for 6 years, is it?
6 years, 6 years, yeah. We moved to Melbourne first, so we lived in Melbourne for 7 months. March 2020, obviously the shit hit the fan across the world, and we had to do our regional work. We started applying for farm jobs that weekend. On the Thursday, got a phone call from a guy from a farm who was in Western Australia. So if you don't know the geography of Australia, that's on the far side of the country. And it was a big shift from Melbourne, because like in Melbourne that time of the year, the weather wasn't great. Didn't like my apartment, didn't like my job. And then we got to Perth, and when you arrive in Western Australia, it feels like Australia. So we ended up, myself and my partner, on the farms driving tractors. Yeah, it ended up being nearly 2 years. We bounced around to different farms, travelled. Then what happened in Perth was fairly dramatic. So for Christmas, I have 2 sisters here in Australia. For Christmas, we wanted to meet up. The only place we could all travel was Tasmania. So we said, right, we'll go to Tasmania for Christmas. I'll never forget it. It was probably like 2 or 3 days after Christmas, and we were heading up the mountain about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I got a notification, 1 case of COVID in Tasmania, Western Australia, closing border. So we were like, wait now.
So you can't go back?
We weren't back since, like. The plan I came up with, we fly to Sydney. We always wanted to give Sydney a crack. Yeah, we got jobs, good jobs straight away. Career started to grow. My girlfriend's construction career started to develop, which eventually led to her getting sponsored in construction here. Like, I'm de facto on her visa, like, so I do what I'm told. Yeah, we're actually going for permanent residency at the minute, so, and that's all thanks to her. So she got herself into a position to get us into a position to do that. But for myself then, all the while, like in Western Australia, I struggled a lot because I always wanted to start this business. So the business I run is giveaways, so people win cash, cars, holidays, all that sort of good stuff. I remember I had a moment one day, I was in the garage and it was a beauty package. And at one stage, I had a toothbrush in my hand. And I was videoing this toothbrush and I just looked at the missus and I was like, what is this? I was like, this is not what the plan was. I was like dreaming about doing cars like this, like that was the plan. Yeah, that was kind of a bit of a wake-up call. I needed to up the game a bit. Last Monday, just gone, was the 3rd anniversary of Manifest Prizes. So literally the same week, I have a BMW M3 up, like, so. Yeah, thanks very much. When you come here, you lose a lot of yourself, like you lose a lot of your identity. Like, I didn't come here because I hated Ireland. I came here because you live once. Let's have a crack at it, give it a whirl. People say, what's the best holiday you were ever on in your life? Someone ever asked me that, I'd say the first time I went home from here, 100%, like, it was magic. Like, it was the best 4 weeks of my entire life, hands down. Everyone made an effort to see us as well, and everyone was so excited to see us. And yeah, the first night I went to the pub with the lads and everything, like, it was just magic. I come from a small country road out the back arse of Laois, like, that to most people would be nothing, but to me, it's everything. I love that place. And still 6 years in, that place means a lot to me as well. Australia hasn't won me yet, like, hasn't won me yet. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunities here. There's a lot of things you can do here that you can't do at home. Lifestyle, yeah, it does tick a lot of boxes, but I think eventually the day might come for me that home is the place where I need to go.
After talking to Richie, it was really interesting to hear that even after him and his girlfriend had found some success here, he still wasn't sure if Australia had won him over yet. It also made me think about what people here miss about home. Their parents, their friends, their nieces and nephews, their dogs, and many other things that so many people here can't see on a regular basis. Because it was my last few hours in Sydney, I decided to head up to a bench at the top of the beach and wait there until I had to go to the airport. But just as I was about to leave, a fellow with a Dublin accent on the bench beside me asked me if I was a filmmaker.
Yeah, so we were just chilling up there. I'm meeting some friends for a barbecue. Before they arrived, just went and sat on the bench there and recognised your man behind the camera.
That's the Irish thing ever, like.
Yeah, you're your man, are you? I saw you on Instagram. So I was just saying, like, there's one degree of separation when you get out here. Like, you'll always find someone you know, like, mutually. Everyone here that I know that came here just has something that they're trying to better themselves, and they're trying to grow, or they're trying to find new opportunities.
So when did you come over?
I got over September last year. Did the visa work up in a bar in early, had a great time. I'm going home for Christmas now, and hopefully staying there, but don't tell me, man. I have to break the news to her. Sometimes you're pine for home and you'd miss the culture and the bit of Irish and the bit of sport. So much more out here as well to enjoy. The other big thing is just any sector you're in, like the opportunities out here to work, whether in the public sector as a teacher or a nurse, you can still earn a good wage, put a bit of savings aside, enjoy things out here.
Yeah, what was like your first 3-4 weeks like, you know, like coming over by yourself?
Yeah, it was difficult to kind of settle at the start, but then I mean, the more you put yourself out there, the more people you meet, and it's a game of paddle, it's a bit of beach volleyball, it's something small just to get yourself out and acquainted with people, and now I've made friends that I'll have for life, you know.
So what would have been the main driver for you leaving then?
Oh, look, man, I think I'm a teacher, I'm an Irish teacher, and I'm playing football since I'm a young lad, so it all felt very insular after a while. It's just kind of rinse and repeat the same stuff. So look, I've got a few mates out here, a bit of family. I've always wanted to come, so gave it a bash, yeah. And yeah, we're just gonna have a barbecue now. They're over there somewhere. There's a couple of Gaeilgeoirs in there as well, so my favourite piece of Gaeilge out trust on Trove Eggshare House. We're actually talking about setting up an Irish school.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
That'd be class.
Get an Irish school in Coogee. Yeah man, all my friends here seem to be loving it, and they've all got their different hobbies and their different interests in the evenings. Yeah man, just such a broad spectrum of stuff to do. But yeah, I'd be saying to anybody now thinking of giving it a go, just save up, take a year and see what happens out here. Oh, they're over here. I brought a filmmaker. This is Cian.
So when did you move over?
I moved over last September, moved to Melbourne for a couple of months, then I went to Early Beach for my regional work, and I only got to Sydney last week.
And what made you make the move?
Oh, I was just fucking sick of Ireland, like, it was just fucking dog shit, weather was dog shit. Yeah, I just was getting sick of it. I just said I wanted to move over to good weather.
Do you feel like you have a bigger opportunity here?
Not really. I have a degree in finance, and all the jobs I'm applying for over here are actually, they don't like working holiday visas just because it's too much of a headache for them. I've just been working in construction since I got here.
A lot of people will come over, say, for like the 2-3 years, save up, buy a house, but do you think that's still a thing?
The cost of living has raised here substantially over the last 5 years. It's not the same as it was 20 years ago. I hear a lot of older people saying that that's what they could do, but it's definitely changed.
Get in here, will you? Did you ever hear of the Australian glow up? Tom Selleck here.
And have you done your original work then?
I did my regional work last year up in Early Beach. But I actually only just started a real job this week. So up until then I've been a part-time barman. I just got certified as a surf coach. And the same week I got that cert, I got offered a real job. So the dream's over, I have to work in an office now.
Are you committed to stay, or do you have things to go home? Or
I'm a little bit older than the rest of these, so all my mates are getting married and making babies. I missed 5 weddings this year. Like, the lifestyle's so good over here, it's hard to know when to go home. My parents are fine, but if they start getting a bit older and stuff like that, you don't want to be too far away.
As soon as people start thinking about raising their kids, they're like, oh, maybe I will go home then.
I've a mate here had a baby like a month ago, and they're going home in April. They thought they were going to stay for 4 years until they wanted to go to school, and pretty quickly they realised, like, oh, no, we need to be home.
After meeting Craig and going to the barbecue, I had to rush to the airport because my flight back to Melbourne was that evening. While I was on my way, I had time to reflect on my time in Sydney. Even though I didn't have a lot of time there, I managed to meet so many people, and each one of them tried to help me in any way they could. Whether it was helping me find more Irish people on the beach, offering to let me have Christmas dinner with them, or inviting me to a barbecue with their friends after only meeting me 2 minutes ago. Each person went out of their way to help. And speaking of that, before I headed home in a few days, there was someone who helped me from the very start that I had to see in Melbourne. Do you like my tan? Okay, so I'm back in Mikey's. I'm never really gonna get over that kind of like hospitality from people. The generosity to just be like, oh yeah, just stay there and here's my keys and whatever, make yourself toast and like sleep there and we'll be gone. Like, and I already stayed here too, so like I didn't think I was gonna stay here again. Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my final days in Melbourne. There's a coffee shop here that I've been getting coffee and like a cookie from, so I'm gonna go there first. Then I'm gonna get bagel on the way back. What a life, huh? It's crazy. I actually feel like I've been here for like a month. That's kind of a good thing, because then it means I've, you know, every day has felt like a day.
Tea, yeah? For 2?
2, yeah, please.
Beautiful.
I think it means safe travels, but I could be totally wrong. My brother did tell me.
Major problem is my girlfriend does not want to go home at all. She has no interest in going home.
Okay, I'll go heads, stay, tails, go. Mommy will kill me.
Mommy will kill me. Sorry, there's like people like parasailing up here. What is going on?
Yeah, do you want to walk? Let me take your bag as well.
Because if Ireland didn't exist, I don't know where I'd go, like, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And if everything went to shit in the morning, just go home and it'd be grand. Like,
I was like the in-betweeners. I got the fake tan before I came down. Like.
If I don't go home with somewhere, and what did I go home with, you know?
It'll be getting last the next month, like school.
A side note, I actually lived in Leash for like 2 years.
Did you?
Yeah, like part-time. Some people went to Australia in the boom, my mum went to Port like, bye, I love you. A fella that actually lived on my road, you said got you into teaching. And that's
yeah,
why
shout out to Ben Gibson.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
There.
Well, is anyone in the home, part of my family, close friends, anyone that knows me, I hope you're having an absolute ball of a time. I do miss you dearly. And yeah, come over and see me. Because I did not have the money to come and see you. Happy Christmas, and I hope to see you soon.
For my last day in Melbourne, I spent it going to the GAA tournament Mikey and Chloe were playing in. It was surreal to watch people from all over Ireland play football and hurling in Australia. It was also great to see how strong the Irish community was, and that even on the other side of the world, people still come together. I came to Australia only knowing one friend who lived here, but from only being there for 2 weeks, I built up a network of people who I felt I could reach out to instantly, and they would help in any way they could. I came here to see why so many Irish move, and is it still a good place for young Irish people, and I can safely say it is, and I understand why so many people do. There's a huge sense of community and an understanding of why you're here, because everyone knows how hard it is to move so far from home. The day finally came when I had to leave Australia, and weirdly, I felt guilty. I felt like I was leaving behind so many people, because I was going home to my family and friends for Christmas, and everyone else here would be missing that. But knowing how much the people look out for one another, it definitely made me feel a lot better. People always make jokes about Irish goodbyes and how seamless they are, but an actual Irish goodbye is a lot harder than that.
I'll wear a sweater, it's down to my knees, and you will kiss the freckles on both of my cheeks, and we will sing our own Christmas song.
The final question is, would I move to Australia? And my answer is, I'm not sure. For right now, I think I have too much travel to do and such good family and friends at home that it doesn't feel like the right time. But you can never say never, and I know if I ever did want to move there, I'd get looked after and I'd have a lot of friends there too. Thank you to everyone in Australia who helped me on my travels and for making my time there such a great experience. And I hope you had a good Christmas.